Cheers, thank you. Well, obviously Pol Pot, Thatcher, the people like them, they definitely fucking die. So. No one stands near him. Okay. Yes. This, going back to the world-beating Corona Suite for a poem, and this is called Impressions of a Curate's Egg. Do you know what a curate's egg is? You learn, it's just like school, isn't it, this? Isn't it? You're going to go away armed with knowledge. Oh, what was that? Oh, senescence and the shedding and the, and the Newton's cradle. You've all got to get Newton's cradle. I'm not selling them, honest. Perhaps I should, though. Anyway, so yes, a curate's egg is something which is partly good and partly bad, but mostly bad. And I wrote this looking back at the first lockdown, when, to be perfectly honest with you, I actually had a really nice time. And I'm not on my own. I know other people did. Alongside the absolute terrifying death and destruction and the clown car of a government, I got sent home from work. It was lovely. I did no work for 3 months. And I got paid for not working. I just went off on long sunny walks. The weather was amazing, wasn't it? Everyone was so lovely with each other. The camaraderie in those first few weeks, I have never known anything like it. Oh God, now obviously everyone's back to being selfish, bastard, but it was lovely while it lasted. So this is sort of looking back at that time, and something you need to bear in mind is that the order of the book is that's how they were written, that date order. And this was written in October 2020. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It didn't miss a trick of the spring bells and yellows, daffodils bloom, sitting in the long grass on golden afternoons, hearing nothing. No brawls, no Friday siren calls, mean streets bleached with a bucketful of shut pubs, rubbish unstrewn, unspewed on pavements, sky blind blue, buzzard full, close focus of our 2020 vision. Trade not exhaling desire. It was smiles wide as wasteland walked on our doorstep, deeper to explore every pocket, nature's locker for an office, rare ponds bramble-racked, mapped for the autumn. It wasn't packed motorways, bus, train, traffic jams, nose-to-tail delays, or verbal warnings. It was protecting our NHS, empty shelf selfishness, staying home, injecting disinfectant. Untested elderly, triaged in reverse, DNR'd without regard, dispensing with disposable community. It wasn't herd immunity, even though Pat Vallance said it was on the telly. Galloping mortality, soap sud slides. Justin from Durham, Pinocchio advised that his tongue was as long as a telephone wire. Bridges burning, lesson learning medics muted by a minister primed to divide and conquer truth. It was paper rainbows, Thursday claps, pots and pans banged for the badge that Matt had offered, and not the pay rise that he didn't. It was Cheltenham, Athletico, official advice. It wasn't quarantining incoming flights a week too late for 20,000 graves. Grief born alone in isolation. It was one bin bag, one glove, then another. 60,000 deaths on an island with the borders that you fought on and failed to control. 3-word slogans that didn't make the grade. It's still no vaccination. Infection rising daily. It had listened to the science, but now it's back to work, school, tube-bred winter of our discontent and ravaged population. Cheers. I'm going to keep doing that because people's memories are short and they might forget the total mishandling of every single aspect of this pandemic. It's just, blows my mind. Anyway, shall we do the titular poem? Not the tit poem, we've done that. The titular, you know, from the book, eponymous, whatever. Yes, let's do that, speaking in tongues. They said, too clever for your own good. I heard that it was not for me, like olives and halloumi, and must you question everything? Unintended irony. They own the land and property. I face reduced mortality. The politics of envy are for the likes of me. The politics of greed are what I clearly see. I learned that thought-provoking words should not be used in school like primogenitor and cultural hegemony. They said, what do you want to be, a nurse or secretary? Then tell me what the poem means. I said that it was not for me, refused, would not reduce. There is one meaning, learn it well, so you can pass your O-level. I didn't. Instead, I tore my tongue in two, threw salt across a wall of eyes, soaked my throat in dissonance, and didn't listen to their lies. I saw that all the world's for me, that they can keep dishonesty. And I laughed. Ha! Eating olives and halloumi. Cheers. Thank you very much. I've got 2 more poems and then we can all have a wee. Bagsy me first. Right, this is a poem about missing someone or something so much that it physically hurts. It's called Darlin Dancers. I thought of you in bed last night, remembering your soft brown skin, the times we had, impressions of your absence ever gentle on my mind. I tumbled back to trampled paths and BPM at sunrise, techno nights and dancing on the weathered land in daylight, singing love songs in the mud and lit by lightning. Ha ha! We were stormproof, leathered, no one stopped us, nothing mattered when we gathered on the hills and in the valleys, all in parties, back to mine for dapple come-downs, fragments of a breakfast dressed for comfort. I never named you. I didn't need to, not at first. You were there and I was in you, walking harmony, waxing with delight in silent company, recalling country lines of how we fit together walking. Glenn was right. Do you remember? I think we did too much, too hard, too soon. And even though I know, because Leonard told me that the light comes in through cracks, I couldn't fix you. Kept hold of you too long. You were gone, but I refused to see the damage that we'd done underfoot, underground. I thought that faith could make you dance again. Ferocity of want would resurrect you diamond eyes and laced desire into every hole and tongue. But your soul was unredeemable, in disrepair, decayed. I thought of you in bed last night, wishing I was in you, remembering your soft brown skin. I'll never have that love again. Steel-capped toes and cats are no replacement for my waxy brown and broken down, beautiful old boots. My Darlin Dancers. Thank you very much. Kept them boots for about 10 years after the soles fell off. I had them repaired about 25 times, and in the end the cobbler's like that, get out! Go and buy a new pair. And I've never been able to find anything as comfortable again. It's not fair. So, right, yes, it's that. I've got one more poem left, and then we can have a little break, and then we're going to have some more open micers. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. It's actually not been as cold or rainy as I thought it would be. So thank you very much for coming and listening. Because you know what? In the words of a band whose name I've forgotten, you've been an audience. I'd like to thank Gary for inviting me along and organising it and promoting it. Thank you very much, chap. That's lovely, that. And Jeremy, whose venue it is, thank you too. So it's wonderful. Thank you. It's been great. I do have books for sale. That big suitcase at the end of my table. I've got Kaleidoscope, which is my first book, which Attila the Stockbroker wrote the foreword for, and he said it was one of the best books of poetry he's ever read. But he's only really read his own, so... Fault Lines, which Alice Nutter, Chumbawamba, remember? Said very nice things about. And Speaking in Tongues, my new one. Okay, like that. It's a very interesting book, darling. It's a very interesting book. We can do a completely contactless transaction as well if you want. If you don't want me to come near you, and why would you, to be honest? I've got a card reader, so I can do cash or I can take cards, so it's up to you. I can sign it in a bodily fluid of your choice as well. Don't get much better than that, does it? Hey? Right, last poem. Did anybody here ever play the Virgin Mary in the school nativity play? No? You did? Did you? Fantastic! Did you have any lines? I bet you didn't.
I think I did have lines. Yeah, never mind, but yes, I did.
That's an outrage. It's an outrage. Oh, must have gone to a forward-thinking school then. Did anybody here ever play an angel? This poem's not for you. All right. Who else? You. It's not for you either. All right. I was asked to play the Virgin Mary in the school nativity play when I was 5 years old. And I was never asked again. And this is why. He'd 3 lines and a gleaming neck, stunk of imperial leather. I was gagged and tide-marked, the mother of the Messiah. Under strict instruction, I smiled beatifically, with muted mouth and purple feet, in Bethlehem, in primary. Virgin Mary, Mother of God, silenced, made to breed. But Joseph, famous cuckold, was worth 3 lines of speech. King Herod had a massive part, and Gabriel spoke twice. The shepherds sang in unison of washing socks by night. The innkeeper had dialogue beyond a mere we're full. The narrator did the voices of all the animals. But Virgin Mary, Mother of God, was silenced, made to breed. And Joseph, famous cuckold, was worth 3 lines of speech. The 3 wise men monopolised the middle of the play, droning on about the gifts and rustling the hay. The angels got more words than me, and they were thick as out. Blessed Mother of the Messiah broke her silence with a shout. The absolute injustice! What a shit nativity! I'm the saintly Virgin Mary, not some wanker off the street. How come them lot all get lines? Do you know who I am? I'm the mum of fucking Jesus. This nativity's a sham. Ow! I kicked the manger over, set fire to the straw, punched Joseph in his soapy face, threw Jesus to the floor. I tore the wings off angels, got arrested by the plot. I'm 5 years old, I know my rights. I'm the mum of fucking God. Get off! Thank you very much!